Well, hi there. It's been a little while, as it always seems to be between videos these days, but rest assured it's mostly because I'm busy and it's difficult to do a video of all the stuff I'm doing, as you can see back here, while doing it. But I did want to show you a few of the things that I have done. So I'm just going to walk along this path that I'm making. You can see that the trees and plants, particularly the lavender, are all getting quite large. Lavender is about ready to harvest, and it'll be our first time ever harvesting lavender, so we're kind of excited about that. The yarrow is beautiful. This yellow yarrow is the one we planted, and then luckily this wild yarrow was in there, and we've transplanted a few pieces of that, and they seem to be doing well. Got a few of these. Actually, that one might end up being yellow yarrow, just like the mother plant, but we have confirmed sightings of white yarrow that we've planted. It's the wild kind that smells even stronger than the yellow. Okay, just a little tour through the garden as I'm talking about these things. We've done a lot of transplanting. This particular one, this columbine, is not doing as well as I would like, but we're creating this pine forest with columbine. Kind of reminds us of Colorado, where we used to live. We're gonna put some, I've already got these two rocks in here. We're gonna put some large boulders in here, and we're gonna try to match either these ones or some other ones that we have on the property. We're just kind of feeling it out. But anyway, if you can imagine quite a large boulder right there and there, maybe a smaller one there. Little outcropping kind of thing. Similar to these ones, but different style. These ones still aren't done. They're working, but they're not finished. The willow's getting big. I've been, another rock's gonna go right there. I've been doing a lot of work, kind of just maintaining the pathways. In the springtime, when it was really wet, we noticed that there was a kind of soft spot in the path there, and I got digging around on it, and sure enough, there was like a lot of clay. There's a lot of clay there underneath it, so I dug the rocks away, dug out the like 6 or 8 inches of the clay, and filled it in with gravel and these old pieces of cement that had gone bad. Gonna back up just a little bit so you can see this. We love it when our trees can get big enough to make a tree tunnel, and it's kind of a joy to go through every day and just pinch off. Well, it's harder with one hand, so that's less than impressive. But anyway, nearly daily, there's enough growth that I can pinch it off. And kind of train this tree to be above our heads. And I kind of like it when it is just barely above my head and it brushes my hair. And it just makes it feel like I'm part of the forest, so to speak. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. Hey, chickens. You see that piece of foam? This one, well, we just had a windstorm and it kind of blew it apart. But let me show you. Well, I'll leave that one there. I'll go and pick up this other one. This is just, these are just scraps of foam that came out of the panels that commercial refrigerators and freezers are made out of. And looking back on it, I wish I hadn't ripped the aluminum off the front of them. That was kind of dumb, because we could have used those for actual panels for an insulated shed or a workshop, or simply what it was actually originally made for, which was a refrigerator or a freezer. It's a cold room. Anyway, but we got these pieces out of it, and as these pieces have been in the sunshine, they've curled, and it actually makes for great forms for fiber reinforced concrete. And just do 1/2 inch to 1 inch, depending on how big the rock is. Sometimes a little bit more. I'll cut another piece to kind of fit in there, and maybe some scraps. And I'll hold it together with skewers, like bamboo skewers, and then I'll make those kind of things. That's exactly, in fact, these are the exact pieces that I use to make that rock. So part of what we've done is just, it's a crazy amount of work to just decide, but we've been deciding where to put more rocks. Again, possibly less than impressive, but part of the process nonetheless. I've been digging these little steps. It's a little bit difficult to see, maybe. Steps down to the pond. Now this pond is very, very seasonal, and since it is fed by it is a natural pond. I mean, even though we dug it, it's still fed by natural groundwater. And there's not much water left down there, as you can see. I can walk all the way down here, and there's only, gosh, 1.5 to 2 feet of water down there, and lots of cattails. So the plan is, you can see right over here, this little divot in the piles of dirt that we removed. And we'll go over there, climb the little hill. So I've been removing little swaths of this. Now a backhoe, or a track hoe especially, could have removed that in like 2 scoops. 1 or 2 scoops. As it was, it took me about 30 wheelbarrows and like 5 hours of time. Well, why would I put myself through that? Well, partially because I like digging. It's kind of therapeutic to me. But also, we've planted so many things and built so many things that it'd be actually very difficult to get a backhoe in here without trampling many of our plants. And I realized we could straddle them with the wheels, but there are so many of them everywhere in here that, I mean, they're young, but they're still there, and we don't want to kill them. A lot of these are from like clearance, out of season clearance sales, and we transplanted a bunch of these irises from the front yard. This is a big area here. What we did is we killed the grass with poison, and I don't like using poison, like for my health. I don't know, I slightly worry about it, but it does a good job of killing the grass, and I'll never ever have to contend with it again. Whereas before, I would have spent years contending with it, and nothing would have grown here because the grass grows faster than the plants that I want. And it would have all my desirable plants would have died. But since I killed the grass, I and my sons have been moving this wood chip mulch onto the area, and this is what we do with all these areas where we've planted. And after just a little while, especially if we do it in the springtime when there's rain and it kind of breaks the grass down, the grass that's been pressed down by the wood chips. It breaks it down quickly and keeps the soil extremely moist. And it's very, very easy to just dig away the chips a little bit, dig a little hole in the soil and plant these and tuck them back in bed with the chips, and they're good to go. And they do amazing. Unless we get a freeze, an unseasonable freeze like we did just a few weeks ago, which is crazy, but they're hanging on anyway. I almost said lavender. This is I actually made myself some tags just because I'm always forgetting these two. I don't know why. Pastor's Button and Comfrey. I don't know why those names always escape me when I'm trying to say them. But as you can see here, the grass has actually just recently died all the way, except for right around there. I'm not going to use general weed killer around the tree. I'm going to reserve that I'm going to use just a strictly grass killer so it doesn't harm the tree when I spray around it, spray that close to it. I have at times sprayed too close to trees and hasn't killed any because they're pretty strong, but it has stunted their growth a little bit for a season, and I don't want to do that again. It's kind of cool. We stuck some apple cores in here, organic apples that we bought, and they started growing. And that was after I had put a bunch of acorns in here and thought that they weren't going to grow. So now we have a whole bunch of oak trees and several little apple trees. I'm not sure how to separate them. I might just have to wait till spring when they're dormant, winter or something. Early spring, I guess, has been the best time for us to do that kind of thing. Let's see. Oh, why is my brain stopping? The dirt that we removed from there with the wheelbarrow, where we just were a minute ago, it was hard work, but all 30 of those or so of those wheelbarrow loads went onto the low parts of this little path. It kind of dipped down a little bit, just a few inches, but I put them over here and over there. There used to be a fence line here when this was all cow pasture when we first moved in. There was a fence line straight across here, kind of went to the edge of this cement pad, which now has a building being built on it. Anyway, I don't know why, but it kind of slowly built up and built up and built up the level, and then it just dropped off. And this is where the cows were pastured. And I guess this may have been where, I don't know, manure and sand and stuff was spread out, and eventually it kind of just built up, and this was lower. So over here you can see that I've been working on it, and don't know if you can see very well, but it's quite a bit lower. There's like a 18-inch drop where I'm standing versus where that is, and I want to build up more of a gradual ramp to that. I still need to put the other side of the roof on this and the wall. So tonight I've been spreading more of these wood chips onto this area, and it makes such a big difference in such a short amount of time. Like, it's really, really satisfying and like immediate satisfaction. Also, I bought this humongous hat. It's crazy. It's kind of awesome. I wish I had left the tag on it so I could show you what it was, but it was like, had the name Mulan in it, I think. Here I am with my ridiculously huge hat, but it's nice. And I can soak it in water and it'll keep me nice and cool. So, yeah, bring my rickety old garden cart that I don't take very good care of, and if I did, it probably wouldn't be warped. But I just leave it in the rain and don't worry about it too much. And I'll just buy another one or make another one when I need it. Not being wasteful, because honestly, I knew that this thing, for the price that I paid for it online, it was not going to last a long time, no matter how well I took care of it. I read the reviews, and I am excited actually for when I finally get to replace this terrible old plywood with some exterior grade plywood, and it'll last a much longer time and be stronger at the same time. So I'm here at one of the piles of wood chips, and I'm gonna load up and then continue getting that area filled in, and eventually plant shrubbery and flowers. And there's already a pine tree there, so we probably won't plant trees because that'll get quite large eventually, and won't be room for those other trees if I were to plant them. This is exciting though. I always just take cuttings from our older trees and put them in the ground in the springtime, hoping that some of them will survive. Here's an awesome tree that I like. I'm not sure, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is well, I'm not sure the variety. I was calling it one thing, and then looked it up, and I think it might be another, so I don't really know. Again, it's got kind of hit by the last frost that we had. But it looks like it's doing fine now. And there's, I can't even reach the, well, there's maybe the, like 6 inches down is the nice wet soil. So it should be doing fine. It's got all this, you know, these huge piles here. That's 5 feet tall of kind of compacted, partially broken down wood chips. So it's got plenty of space for the roots to stretch out and find moisture, and I think it'll do okay. Now that it's survived this long, I think it'll do great. Unfortunately, even if I were to kill, you know, like spray poison on this grass now that it's gone to seed, it probably won't kill it. So I'll just wait till next year. I've already got quite a bit of the grass killed back to here. So this is like my buffer zone for the part that I've really been working on. Another tree. This one's doing great. I'm so happy about that. Another good one right there. That'll survive. I planted a little oak tree right there. Can't really see it from here very well, but it is alive and thriving, even though it's teeny tiny. I started out by killing us like a path here. You can see, or I've kind of laid it out. I had done it here, and then I decided I might want it over here instead. This may be the train path. That was my idea when I did it. The path for the tracks. I laid out these things. It kind of reminds me of a ski run. But it's really hard to spray such a big area. So I kind of crisscrossed it and then like sprayed in after the crisscross pattern was made. I can more easily pay attention to where I'm spraying. And I did spray this area about a week ago, so in 4 or 5 more days it should be dying. Got trees all along this area, so this stayed alive, and even better is when it starts to send up new shoots, which means the roots are strong and healthy. Tree there, tree there, tree there. None of the ones over there survived, but we've got a nice healthy one a little further off, a little bit inland from the back property line. Neighbor's corn is doing great. Wow, so fast growing. It's so much fun to see. More trees that are doing great on this side. Gonna build a shed right here, same size as these other ones. The reason I'm doing it here is partially because the trees that I planted right here and here didn't survive. So I thought, well, I can just put it here. That way we'll have a visual barrier from the house and from the main part of the landscaped yard back to here, and we won't just see into the neighbor's yard or pasture. It is beautiful, don't get me wrong, it very much is beautiful. I don't mind seeing it, but we kind of want to control the view a little bit more, since we're gonna turn all this into semi-public things that people will enjoy. It'd be nice to control the view a little bit, and as it is right now, it's serene and gorgeous. But if we're trying to host an event or something and a big tractor goes by, it might slightly ruin the experience, take people out of the experience just a little bit. So anyway, so that's one reason, is to create that visual barrier, so almost like a fence, whereas we just have the trees in the other spots. And also to establish a little bit that this is the end of the property, because right now it very much feels like this is the end of our property because those are there. But once we have one back here, it'll show scale, because this one it'll look smaller from far away. And the other reason is that the prevailing wind that comes from the north, especially in the colder months, will somewhat be not blocked, but will be, like, I don't know, slowed down a little bit, because we've got this And then that kind of lines up with this straight path right through the area. And this will hopefully slow it down just a little bit. And I realize that the pattern of the wind will just go around here and it'll eddy right here. And in the wintertime, if the wind's blowing the snow, it'll have a tendency to pile up in this area. But maybe we'll do some kind of snow fence type of things. But that's the plan for that. Do the same thing on the other side, like kind of over by where that water tank is. I've got a lot of water tanks. Speaking of that, we've collected a bunch that have had paint and chemicals in them, so we're not going to use those for water, obviously, but we will use them for to build up bulk of things that we want to build. So like more rocks, basically, or other things, but mostly just rocks. Anyhow, still got the house wrap, only the house wrap on this shed, and nothing on this one. But I have been working on, I think I mentioned in a previous video that I had been, to put it up fast, I had only put the studs every 4 feet. And then I've been going around afterwards and toe nailing in the studs and putting them every 2 feet, which means it's ready now to, well, I have like 1 or 2 more studs to put in, but it is mostly ready to start stuccoing. And after I put the house wrap on that one and a couple other sheds, I realized that I definitely wanted to stucco all of them instead. Right now we've kind of made it a little bit homey. Lizzie has moved some of her stuff in here, and Laura Jean has some of her stuff too. But isn't this a nice, cozy shed, and especially with the wool rug in here, it's kind of cool. And this view out the window is just awesome. I do need to build a porch. So I'll build some forms out of concrete, fill them up with gravel or dirt, and then top them with concrete. That's a much cheaper way than making the whole thing out of solid concrete, which would be probably hundreds of dollars. Well, I will get back to filling up these areas, these dead grass areas, with the wood chip mulch. And it looks very nice, and we'll make it more ready for planting. You can tell which ones are new, the dark ones that are still wet. All right, well, thanks for joining me on this slightly long video, but it's kind of a fun journey. And I think this gives you a bit of a better perspective on what is happening everywhere else. Oh, by the way, we were talking about having this part be the parking lot, but we realized if we're already making something there and we were making some, things out here for people to visit, why would we want to break it up by having a parking lot in the middle? So now our idea is to think of a new plan for where we might have, the flow of traffic of human walking traffic go through here instead of back here, and then we'll have parking, car parking, be back in one half of this pasture back there. Alrighty, we'll see ya.